In America, luxury isn't always what it seems. That priceless painting on a gallery wall, the diamond necklace sparkling under bright lights, or the Rolex on a billionaire's wrist might not just be about taste or status. They can also be hiding dirty money. Criminals use art, jewelry, and high-end goods to move billions of dollars without anyone noticing, turning illegal cash into a lifestyle of glamour and power. Here's the shocking truth: luxury is camouflage. Cash is heavy, suspicious, and easy to trace. But a single Picasso can store $50 million of value, a flawless pink diamond can cross borders in a coat pocket, and a Patek Philippe can travel across continents without a single customs officer blinking twice. Welcome to Trillion Dollar Empire, your guide to wealth, power, and the secrets of the financial elite. Today, we're diving into the secret world of how art, jewelry, and luxury goods become the preferred laundromats for criminals in the US. You'll discover why cartels, kleptocrats, and even corrupt billionaires turn to beauty as a disguise, how freeports hide billions in masterpieces, and why regulators admit they're always 10 steps behind. Stick with me until the end, because I'll reveal a bonus secret: how even the most prestigious auction houses, those temples of sophistication, have been forced to admit that not all their clients were collectors. Some are cartels in suits. Criminals know one thing that ordinary people ignore: money is useless unless it can move. A drug empire that keeps cash stacked in warehouses is like a king with no throne. It looks impressive, but it holds no real power. To buy influence, to escape borders, to build empires, dirty money must transform into something portable, respectable, and hard to question. And luxury is the perfect disguise. Let's start with art, the crown jewel of laundering. Unlike stocks or real estate, art has no fixed value. A canvas with a few strokes of paint can be worth $1,000 or $50 million, depending on who's bidding. That subjectivity is a criminal's dream. Imagine this: a cartel boss walks into a New York gallery with $10 million in dirty cash. He uses an intermediary company, maybe something like Cultural Investments LLC, to buy a painting. Months later, he sells it at an auction in London for $9.5 million. On paper, it looks like he just made a small investment loss. In reality, he turned mountains of illicit cash into nearly clean money, ready to move through banks. What makes art even better is its secrecy. Until very recently, U.S. art dealers weren't required to follow anti-money laundering regulations. No obligation to report suspicious transactions, no background checks on buyers. In 2020, a Senate investigation revealed that sanctioned Russian oligarchs had spent millions through anonymous shell companies at major auction houses. Regulators called it the largest unregulated market in the U.S. For criminals, it was open season. The ultra-rich know this too. They use art for tax write-offs, for inheritance planning, and for prestige. Criminals simply borrow the same playbook with darker intentions. Now let's talk about diamonds. Why do criminals love them? Because diamonds are money in concentrated form. $1 million in cash weighs about 22 pounds. $1 million in diamonds fits in the palm of your hand. The global diamond trade is deliberately opaque. Transactions happen privately, often without receipts. Diamonds are graded, but each stone is unique, making them almost impossible to trace. For decades, warlords in Africa used diamonds to smuggle wealth out of conflict zones. Cartels learned the trick: buy diamonds in cash in the US, move them across borders undetected, and sell them overseas for clean money. A flawless pink diamond bought in New York can be carried through customs in a pocket, resold in Dubai or Hong Kong, and suddenly that dirty cash is legitimate wealth. It's no coincidence that international watchdogs call diamonds a criminal's best friend. The ultra-rich lesson: portability equals power. The wealthy use diamonds to hedge against inflation and currency collapse. Criminals use them to vanish money across borders. Next, we have the luxury watch. A Rolex Daytona, an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, or a Patek Philippe Nautilus isn't just a timepiece. It's a bank account strapped to your wrist. Watches are easy to transport, hold their value, and can be resold anywhere in the world within hours. In one investigation, federal agents discovered cartel members buying dozens of Rolexes with cash, smuggling them out of the country, and reselling them for clean funds. A $200,000 watch is easier to move than $200,000 in bills. And here's the lesson. The ultra-rich buy watches for style, but they also know watches are liquid assets. In a crisis, you can walk into a dealer in Zurich, Dubai, or Hong Kong and walk out with cash. Criminals simply take that idea to the extreme. Now picture this. A man walks into a luxury boutique in Miami with a duffel bag of cash. He drops $300,000 on jewelry, handbags, and designer clothes. The store accepts the money, issues a receipt, and waves him goodbye. That merchandise can now be resold or pawned, turning suspicious cash into documented income. This isn't hypothetical. U.S. regulators have repeatedly flagged high-end boutiques for accepting suspiciously large cash transactions. One report revealed a New York jeweler who admitted that half his clients were buying for someone else, often with stacks of $100 bills. The lesson? To the untrained eye, it's just shopping. To the wealthy and the criminal alike, it's financial alchemy, turning paper into prestige. Also, there's the trade-based laundering through luxury. Luxury goods also fit perfectly into trade-based money laundering. Imagine importing designer handbags at $5,000 a piece when they really cost $500. The inflated invoice disguises $4,500 of illicit funds in every bag. Once the bags are sold, the money is clean. This method works because luxury pricing is subjective. Who's to say whether a crocodile skin handbag is worth $500 or $5,000? Criminals exploit that ambiguity, and regulators admit it's one of the hardest schemes to detect. Now let's step into one of the best-kept secrets of global wealth: freeports. These are high-security warehouses near airports in Geneva, Luxembourg, and even New York, where billionaires store art, gold, and jewels tax-free. Inside these vaults lie billions of dollars worth of Picassos, Monets, and Warhols, artworks that may never be displayed, but which quietly change hands inside the vault. A painting can be sold from one shell company to another without ever leaving the building. No border crossings, no customs, no taxes. For criminals, freeports are heaven. Once their assets are inside, they're invisible. For the ultra-rich, freeports are both a tax shelter and a fortress. For both, they're proof of the same principle. The real power of wealth isn't in what you own, but in how you hide it. Luxury laundering isn't limited to diamonds and Picassos. Ancient artifacts, rare stamps, vintage wine, and classic cars are all part of the game. Smuggled antiquities from war zones often end up in American galleries, purchased by wealthy collectors or by criminals who see them as investments. Once an artifact is bought and resold, its origins becomes blur. Dirty money becomes clean history. The ultra-rich also love collectibles, but for different reasons. They see them as diversification and passion. Criminals see them as anonymity with profit potential. Now let's talk about cryptocurrency. In recent years, criminals have fused the oldest luxury trick with the newest technology. Some U.S. art dealers and jewelers now accept Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. That means a criminal can take illicit digital coins, walk into a gallery, and walk out with a $5 million sculpture, resell it for dollars, and the money is clean. Crypto adds a new twist: assets that are both portable and unregulated. For criminals, it's the perfect update to an ancient playbook. For regulators, it's a nightmare. And here's the bonus secret for those who stayed until the end. Investigations have revealed that even the most prestigious auction houses, Christie's, Sotheby's, Phillips, have been used by sanctioned oligarchs and criminals to launder billions. By bidding through offshore shell companies, they exploited the lack of due diligence in the art world. When a Picasso sells for $30 million at Sotheby's, the bidder might be Blue Ocean Holdings Limited. Who owns Blue Ocean? Maybe another company in Panama. Maybe a trust in the Cayman Islands. By the time investigators trace the chain, the real owner is hidden. So what have we learned? That art, jewelry, and luxury goods aren't just trophies of wealth, they're weapons of disguise. A diamond can cross a border more easily than a suitcase of cash. A Picasso can store more value than a vault. A Rolex can move more quietly than a bank wire. And freeports, boutiques, and auction houses are the secret doors through which billions of dirty dollars slip into legitimacy every year. The ultra-rich know this too. They understand that value isn't about what you own, it's about how easily you can move it. Criminals launder billions through luxury, not because they love beauty, but because beauty is harder to question than a duffel bag of cash. Here's my challenge to you. When you see a masterpiece in a gallery or a diamond necklace in a boutique, don't just ask what it's worth. Ask who paid for it and why. Because wealth has two faces, one polished, public, and celebrated, and one hidden, secret, and designed to escape. And as always, trillion-dollar empire, we keep upgrading your life. If you love this episode, don't forget to click the subscribe button, like, and share. See you on the next one.